that we try to control our lives, the more chaotic and destructive it seems to be. And the more that we actually let go and go with the flow, the more free and smoothly things become. I have to excuse my nose. It seems like yesterday I picked up on some hay fever. I'm just out here in the field somewhere, wherever I am. I'm not lost. Or maybe I am. I don't know. But yeah, where was I? In regards to having thoughts in our mind and feelings that we feel like we need to control the outcome of certain situations, the more difficult we make life for ourselves. And I think this is why the world is in the state it's in. And this is why things are the way they are when it comes to people fighting each other. It's because we all feel like we want a sense of control, right? We all see things as separate from ourselves and different from ourselves. Which, yes, we are all entirely unique beings, right? This is why different cultures exist, different perspectives, different takes on how we should live and how we shouldn't live exist. But really, when it comes down to the core fundamental of existence itself, is that when you take a look at a newborn baby being born into the world, and when you look at the elderly people that are about to, transition over into some other form of existence, then we all share that in common, right? We all know that we've come into the world as a baby, as a newborn, freshly newborn, curious, excited being that is, ready to take on what life has to offer. The trials and tribulations of growing up and learning how to walk and learning how to learn and learning how to do everything that we do in life. And none of it is you got some people that might say, well, the education system's fucked, why do that? Why send them to school? And I went through that. I went through the education system, in this country and in the UK. And here I am now, talking about a more broader perspective on life, rather than I've got GCSEs, I went to uni, I did this, I did that. None of that is relevant to who it is that we really are, which is just existence itself, right? The witness to it all. And all those labels and identifications separate us from the awareness of that. But when you sit, like I've just done with myself on this bridge for a period of time, and just taking the sounds around you and observe everything that comes into your mind. I'm not saying I was in a complete state of no mind, but I'm saying that thoughts were coming and they would just go, and like clouds in the sky, they're here for a moment and then they pass and the sun shines again. And we live in this world where so many people will have so many thoughts in their head, and all this information that they've picked up on through TV, through the news, through other people talking about the news to them, talking about what they've seen to them. And we begin to get all this information that is just blocking the sunshine, right? Blocking the stillness and the bliss, the moment that we can actually just be, rather than think about just. I was always going to say irrelevancy then, but it's probably the wrong word. But just a more clearer perspective on who it is that we really are as a species, as humanity, as human beings, rather than all these masks and labels that cover it up who we really are. And I could go down a little rabbit hole and say, well, it's this way for a reason, and there's a specific group of people within this world that have influenced this and control things, which I swing probably more to the 100% side of that than the lower percentage of that. Call me a conspiracy theorist or not. I'm just speaking my opinion and my views on the world, and I think a lot of people also see that as well. And I'm not trying to change anyone's perspective in this video. My main purpose of this video is to bring you back to your own sense of awareness, your own sense of being. Because I found ever since I found that myself, everything changed. Your reality shifts. You become more compassionate. You become more understanding. You want to help other people, and I think that's all inherently built within us anyway, is to help another. No matter if you're so-called evil when you do, you're the kind of person that navigates and sends people to war, and sits behind gives orders to go and send people to war to die and organise wars and things like that, and purchases arms, and I don't want to get too into depth into it, but these people, they have children, right? They have family, and I'm pretty sure that they would not want to see any one of their family members be harmed, and if they could help them out, they would. I don't think there's a being on this planet that hasn't once been in the moment of wanting to do something good for another person. And I mean, always got someone out there well, what about this person? What about that person? Like, it's not about, I'm just saying, in terms of, on a broader perspective, I don't even really have to explain myself when I'm talking. I think a lot of people know what I'm understanding, what I'm trying to say. So yeah, in regards to what I was saying is that when we have a sense of wanting to control things in life, whether it would be addiction, whether it be other people, a certain situation like a job, the more that we think about it, the more chaotic our minds become, and the more likely it is that we are not going to go through with having a smooth process. But whatever happens for a reason, and that's the whole point of really letting go. Is because you get what you're given because everything is on timing, right? And again, it's just a term, divine timing. Everything's on course to be exactly how it's meant to be. Nobody can control the outcome of death, right? Nobody can. I didn't even control when I first entered into this space, into this realm of existence, and neither did you. And none of us will control when we take our last sip of. Nobody's controlling that. Not even the people that try and alter that. I want to stay alive for longer. We're all gonna perish. And when you know that, when you become aware of that, and you sit with that, and you think about it, and you let that go, you'll always know that everything's alright, just exactly how it's meant to be. But the more that we allow the external environment and our minds to think and ponder upon so-called negativity, more our life is going to go in that direction, or at least what we perceive to be quote-unquote negative. This is why it's very important to really be mindful, become the observer, become the awareness or the witness of what it is that you're thinking, because that's really what you are at the core level. Hey up. Nice little bird feather there. I've got bird flu now. See, where did that come from? Feather. Related it to a bird, because it comes from a bird. And then I'm like, oh, it's bird flu. Because that is a bit of information that I'd picked up on, many years ago when bird flu was in the quote-unquote news. And it's now all these years later, I've picked up that, and it's that information is still there. It's registered. The old program's come back. That old bit of information's bird flu. What if I got bird flu now? What a life, eh? What a goddamn life. Or what a godly life, should I say. What a beautiful, lovely life it is. When you know that you don't really need anything and you can just find joy. You can find joy by sitting down by yourself. And here's me, like, you know, only 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and I mean, I've been through relapse after relapse when it comes to, you know, cocaine and porn and things like that. And I don't even know how many like times it's happened, but you know, and when I get myself back on my feet, and you know, I find that sense of bliss again without the need of any substances or any kind of thing that's, you know, even a relationship or anything like that. It's more of a want for me. Like, you know, if I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. Like, if I want a relationship, I'm gonna have it. If I want to use cocaine, I'm gonna use cocaine. Like, but you know, it's not like more of a need now, because I've got to the ability where I can observe my thoughts quite well. And I mean, it's not quite up to the standard that you know, and I mean, nobody's perfect. Like, you know, I'm not trying to claim to be, oh yeah, I don't get affected by the world still and have emotions and feelings and everything, but obviously we are all there. We are all human, like. But I think the important thing is to remain present as best as possible. Like, you know, no matter what the external environment throws at you, whether it be someone trying to irritate you, you know, or you get angry at a certain situation, to remain and bring yourself back into the centre of understanding and the knowing that everything's really okay, exactly how it is, and you can just smile it off, laugh it off, like love it off, basically. Smile, laugh, love it off, yeah. Yeah, we ain't got to turn ourselves we ain't got to cloud our minds to the point where the sun is blocked, you know, which it is now. You know, and a lot of people would also, oh yeah, the sun's not out today, I'm miserable. Oh, it's raining today, I'm miserable. I'm gloomy. But I'm here to say it all comes to pass. Everything's alright, just the way it is. So if you're struggling right now, I have two jot forms in the description of my channel. They're free. You can also create your own. I'm not saying that you need to use mine, but jot forms, highly recommend jot form as a you know, a website to create forms and things like that, and collect data for yourself or as a group or as a community. And you can use them because they're very quick and easy to fill out. One's an actual build log, and one is a quote-unquote negative habit log, which is just a quick five questions each. Fill them out and take note of your habits, your daily habits, so you can start implementing and becoming more aware of the habits that you currently have, so you can implement better ones into your life. I am currently working on a system that will do a similar thing, but it'll go way more into depth about a more deeper understanding about why we do the things that we do on a psychological level, basically the whole shebang, really. And I mean, I don't have any qualification or anything in this, but I have experience, so which I know qualifications are kind of irrelevant to the whole thing. If you haven't really had the experience of overcoming addiction yourself, you can know everything about it, but if you don't know how to do it, then personally, I wouldn't really. I mean, it's 50-50 for me. If someone's gonna try and claim that they know, like, they've been and got years of education within addiction and things like that, but they haven't been through it themselves, why would I listen to them when I've done it myself and I know how to do it? Or say if I I forget what I was going to say then, to be fair, it's gone off the top of my head. But yeah, I think I'll probably leave it at that. I'm going to get back. Have a blessed one. Peace.